Hey everyone, it's Michelle Caruana, creator of the Marketing Junkie podcast. And in today's quick video, I'm going to share 2 mistakes that I see almost all business owners unfortunately making with their Facebook ads that can have a seriously negative impact on your Facebook ad results. And I'm also going to share a better way to do it. But before I get into all the details, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, give it a little thumbs up for me and subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more about Facebook ads and online marketing in general. I really appreciate it. All right, so the first mistake that I see almost all business owners making with their Facebook ads is that when they want to pause a campaign, they turn it off at the campaign level. Now, to understand why this is a problem, I want to first do a quick review of how Facebook Business Manager organizes Facebook ads. So basically, you have the campaign level at the top, and under the campaign level is the ad set level. So at the campaign level, you're choosing your objective. At the ad set level, you're choosing things like budget, placements, your target audience, things like that. And each campaign can have multiple ad sets. Now, under the ad set level, we have the ad level, and each ad set can have multiple ads. And the ad level is where you choose things like your image or your video, your headline, all your creative aspects, your copy, where you want the destination of your Facebook ad to be, whether that's your website or whether you want them to take an action on Facebook, things like that. So when an ad is quote unquote optimized, we hear that term a lot, all of the optimization is done at the Facebook ad set level. So that's where the learning process happens. So if you go into peek at your Facebook ad results, at the ad set level, it could say like learning or something like that, or learning completed or limited learning, something like that. So unfortunately, if you want to pause a campaign and then turn it back on at a later date, turning the campaign off at the campaign level instead of at the ad level will unfortunately reset that entire learning and optimization process. So all of the data that Facebook had from your previous ad run when it was turned on is completely wiped out, and it has to restart that learning process at the ad set level all over again. So if you want to just pause an ad, like let's say, for example, you have a list building ad set up and it's spending $50 a day, and you decide, I want to run a different ad for right now. I'm going to do a launch ad, or, you just want to save some money and turn the ad off for a little bit. Whatever the case may be, if you want to turn a Facebook ad campaign off for a bit, I want you to go, instead of doing it at the campaign level, I want you to go all the way over to the ad level so that you're not resetting the ad set learning process, and turn all of the ads off at the ad level. It's not going to continue spending money. It will be paused. And then when you go to turn the ad back on, I want you to go back and turn all of the ads that you want back on that way. And then all of the data at the ad set level is preserved, because what I see a lot of people doing is they'll turn the ad off at the campaign level and then back on, and then their results will be completely different from what they expected, completely different from what the campaign was running at the previous time they ran it. And that's because the learning process had to reset completely. So just to explain a little bit more what that learning process means, basically when you have a limited budget and a large audience, which most of us do, let's say your audience is 1 million people. If you're spending $10 a day on a Facebook ad, there is no chance you're going to reach that 1 million people, especially if you have a traffic ad or something like that. So basically what Facebook does is it shows your ad to certain people within the audience. And based on how they interact with their ad, if they take an action, if they watch your video, anything like that, it learns from that. And it then understands, okay, of this 1 million person audience, I now understand which subset of this audience is best to show this Facebook ad to. Because don't forget, it's in Facebook's best interest to not only give advertisers the best cost for, or their best results for their money, but it's also in their interest to deliver ads that are relevant to people. So Facebook takes all of that data, all of that information, and it will optimize your ad set in that it will show your ad to the right people within your target audience. So again, we don't want to lose all of that data. So next time you want to pause your campaign, just do it at the ad level. All right, the next mistake that I unfortunately see a lot of business owners make has to do with the same sort of topic, and that's fluctuating your budget too much within an ad set. So I mentioned when I was going over the previous point that you choose your budget at the ad set level. And what I unfortunately see a lot of people do is they'll start small. So they'll start at like a $5 or a $10 a day budget. They'll start getting good results, and then they'll say, oh my gosh, these results are incredible. I want to pour all of my budget into this ad set because it's obviously working. and they'll take that $5 or $10 a day ad budget and scale it up to $50 a day or $100 a day or something like that. And if you're not using campaign budget optimization, meaning you choose your budget at the campaign level, this can really hurt the results of that ad set. It really confuses the learning process, and it will really cause your results to deteriorate very likely. There's a small chance that it could improve your results, but in my experience, this disruption in the budget by more than like 20% can definitely have a negative impact on results. And I just made this mistake myself the other day. I was on my phone and I wanted to take a shortcut, and I was like, you know what, this ad set is doing so well, I'm just gonna bump it from, $25 a day to $50 a day, which is, it's doubling the budget. It's quite a big difference. And immediately my cost per webinar registration went from like $1.50 to $12 for that single day of data. So I broke my own rule, and that was really the inspiration for this video, because so many people come to me with the same issue. They have an ad, it's working, but they're unable to scale it. So what I do instead of just pouring budget into that winning ad set is I duplicate the ad set. And I'll actually go into Facebook Business Manager, and I will, again, just duplicate the ad set. So if I have a $10 a day budget, but I want to up it to $50 a day, I'll just duplicate that ad set 5 times, or so that I have 5 total ad sets at $10 a day. See which one of those is winning, again, because all of the optimization is done at the ad set level. So when you duplicate those ad sets, the learning process does have to start again. So there is a chance that one of the ad sets might not be performing as well as you expected. So what I would do in that case is I would just turn that ad set off, and I would do another duplication, and I complete the scaling process until I get enough winning ad sets that can support the budget that I want. So it is a little bit tedious, but again, it's a very fickle business scaling a Facebook ad. And this is the way that I teach my clients to do it. This is how I run my own Facebook ads business, and it consistently gets the best results. I'm always testing out new strategies. Sometimes I'll use campaign budget optimization, meaning you're letting Facebook decide how to distribute your Facebook ad budget. But there are a couple different reasons why I don't like to do that. I like to have a lot of control over my Facebook ads. I don't like to tell Facebook to distribute my budget because I have different audience sizes and things like that. So I prefer to choose my budget at the ad set level while I still can. Who knows if Facebook is going to roll out campaign budget optimization to everybody and make it mandatory, but I like to have control over my budget so that I know where my budget is going and things like that. So one other thing I wanted to mention is when I tell people to duplicate an ad set, sometimes I'll get worried that the ad sets will compete against each other and they'll kind of cannibalize each other. But Facebook is smart enough to know that if you're targeting the exact same audience within the same campaign, so again, if you're doing 2 different campaigns, it is not smart enough to know that. But if your ad sets are all under the same campaign, it will not show the ad to multiple people in different ad sets. So if John ends up in ad set 1, even if he fits the audience for ad set 2, even if you have the exact same parameters selected, Facebook isn't going to waste your impressions or your budget and put John in ad set 1, ad set 2, and ad set 3. It's smart enough to know not to have the ad sets competing against each other. But again, that's off the table if you decide to duplicate your entire campaign. So again, don't turn your campaigns off at the campaign level. Do it at the ad set level. It is much more effective. Unless you never want to use that campaign again, that's when I'll turn it off at the campaign level if I know that that promotion or that ad is over. And then lastly, don't fluctuate your budget more than 20% per day in a single ad set. It's much more effective to duplicate them until you get to the budget that you want. All right, I hope that was helpful. Again, subscribe to my channel. I put out a new video every single week. And if you want more Facebook ad strategies and tips, just go to michellecaruana.com/ads. I have tons of free stuff and information there, and that's where you can also subscribe to my podcast. Have a great day, guys.